In the 28th sector of space, on the edge of the 59th district, the stellar Voyager traversed the void, a sleek vessel cutting through the darkness of deep space. Its hull shimmered with the reflected light of distant stars as it journeyed towards uncharted territories. On board, Captain Marcus Wren monitored the ship's systems with a mix of anticipation and weariness. It had been months since he had seen any signs of life, and the monotony of space travel weighed heavily on his spirits. As the ship cruised through the mass emptiness, a faint signal flickered across the communications array. Captain Wren's eyes narrowed as he focused on the anomaly. It was a distress signal emanating from a nearby planet that had previously appeared uninhabited on the star charts. "You see that, Reyes?" Wren set out as he glanced up at his trusty bobblehead. "We must plot a course for the source and prepare the pod." "Aye, Captain." Wren spoke from the side of his mouth in a gargled voice, as if the toy he had carried with him for years was responding to him. The stellar Voyager descended towards the small planet, its surface marred by craters and jagged cliffs. As they approached, the distress signal grew stronger, a haunting melody of desperation echoing through the void. Prepared to investigate, Wren stepped onto the surface of the planet, the dusty terrain crunching beneath his boots. The skin on his arms tightened as it met the breeze. The sky shined a swirling mix of purples and blues. As he ventured deeper, they discovered the source of the distress signal, a small domed structure nestled within a crater. Once inside, they found a lone figure huddled in the darkness, their form obscured by a tattered robe. As he approached, the figure looked up, revealing eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. "Greetings, traveler," the figure intoned, their voice echoing throughout the chamber. "I am Astra, guardian of this world." Marcus stepped forward, his hand resting on the hilt of his plasmic pistol. "We received your distress signal. Is there something we can do to help?" Astra's eyes flickered with uncertainty. "Long ago, my people flourished on this planet, but we were betrayed by those we thought we could trust, and now I may be the last of my people. The darkness consumes everything, and I fear it will spread beyond this world if left unchecked." Astra's gaze turned towards the distant horizon, where a swirling vortex of energy churned ominously. "There is a rift in the fabric of reality, a gateway to a realm of darkness. I cannot close it alone, but together, perhaps we can seal the breach and save this world." With Astra guiding the way, they ventured towards the rift. Captain Wren was cautious, not knowing if he should trust Astra. They made their way through miles of destitute wilderness until they entered the capital, as Astra called it. This was once a thriving city. We all would come to trade and to buy both supplies and services. Wren scanned his surroundings, noticing the rubble and the foundations of what used to be phenomenal skyscraping structures. "Who did this to you?" "It all started when that rift opened. It seemed harmless at first, so we began to study it, but it slowly got larger and larger until the shadows began to pour out, turning our once glorious world into an utterly dark abyss. After the darkness, the Nylarth showed up. We thought they may be able to help us. We approached them, but we were met with hostility, and the leaders of the Nylarth declared our planet would be theirs as they needed it for fuel." Wren questioned. "For fuel?" Astra responded. "Yes. From what I understand, the Shadow actually extracts the hydrogen from any and everything that comes in contact with it, even us. They use the hydrogen to energize the engines of their vessels, their weapons, and their home planets." "Where are they from?" Wren asked. Astra replied, "I don't know. Another world, another dimension, another time, perhaps." As they traveled towards the rift, the air crackling with energy as they drew closer. The darkness seemed to seep from the fissure, tendrils of the Shadow reaching out to ensnare them. Captain Wren was still hesitant. He wanted to trust Astra. He just didn't know if he could. Was Astra telling him the truth or leading him to an untimely demise? As they traveled further, Wren kept his eyes on Astra, looking him up and down. He was small, He couldn't have stood any more than 5 feet high. His skin was thin and pale. His eyes were orange and shined like distant stars. The anomalistic rift was located in what used to be a small city. They stood outside the city contemplating how to attempt to close the rift when Captain Wren noticed a group of soldiers marching towards them. The duo quickly turned and ran towards the ruins of a nearby building, hiding behind a half-broken wall. The soldiers marched on, kicking up plenty of dust on their way. Wren saw that they were well equipped. They had a full suit of body armor, as well as rifles and pistols, probably explosives too. He knew he would need backup if he was going to stop them. They slowly followed behind the soldiers until they came to their camp. Their banners fluttered in the wind, adorned with symbols of conquest and greed. Wren counted their numbers, a formidable force that outnumbered them 100-fold. Yet the ember of defiance burned bright within him. They retreated into the shadows, their minds racing with strategies to repel the invaders. Wren knew they couldn't face them alone, not this time. Reluctantly, he reached for his communication device, in hopes of summoning aid from an old ally. He sent out a message. "Hey, I know it's been years, but you said I could call you if I ever needed anything." The moments passed like an eternity, each heartbeat punctuated by the anticipation of a response. And then, like a chorus of thunder from the shadows, emerged a figure, a ship glinting in the little sunlight there was. It was someone Wren had not seen in years. The ship landed, and out stepped a towering figure. It was a man with curly hair and a long beard. Behind him stepped out a large crew of men and women, all equipped with armor and weapons. Captain Wren ran to meet the man. They embraced each other. "I didn't know if you would come," Wren said. "Of course, you can always depend on your old man," the man shouted joyfully. "Father, this is Astra," Wren said as he explained everything Astra had told him. With renewed hope, Wren led his father and his comrades into the battle, their weapons singing as they clashed with the invaders. Together, they fought with the ferocity of a tempest, their determination unwavering in the face of overwhelming odds. Yet for every enemy they felled, 2 more seemed to take their place. The battle raged on for hours, the dry ground soaked with the blood of both friend and foe alike. Wren could feel the weight of exhaustion bearing down upon him, his muscles screaming for some sort of respite. Just as all hope seemed lost, Wren swelled with relief as it seemed as though the tide of the conflict was finally turning in their favor. With renewed vigor, Wren and his newfound allies pushed back against the invaders, driving them to the edge of the rift. The enemy, now outnumbered and outmatched, began to falter, their resolve crumbling beneath the relentless assault. But even as victory seemed within their grasp, a new threat emerged from the shadows of the rift, a towering figure clad in dark armor, his eyes burning with malice. He was a fearsome warrior known only as the Warlord. Wren stepped forward to meet the new adversary, his plasmic pistol in hand. The 2 warriors stood opposing each other, with a tension that shook the atmosphere for what seemed like an eternity. Just as Wren and the Warlord were about to engage, Wren's father took a shot at the Warlord, his shot piercing the Warlord's chest plate and striking true, a testament to his strength and skill. With their leader fallen, the enemy army scattered like leaves in the wind, retreating back through the rift, their ranks broken and their spirits shattered. Wren and his allies stood with pride and relief. With the enemy gone, the rift began to shrink in size and slowly collapsed. The shadows slowly dissipated, and the sun began to shine. Throughout the carnage, there remained a glimmer of hope, a testament to the resilience of those who dared to stand against tyranny. And as the sun rose from behind the horizon, casting its golden light upon the blood-soaked ground, Wren knew that the echoes of valor would linger long after the day ended. Astra approached Wren, their eyes shining with gratitude. "You have saved my world, brave traveler. For that, I am eternally grateful." Marcus smiled, his heart lightened with relief. "It was the least I could do. I may be a wanderer of the stars, but I will always lend a helping hand to those in need." As Ren, his father, and his team returned to their ships, they looked out at the stars with a newfound sense of wonder. For in the shadows they had found not only danger, but also hope, a beacon of light amidst the endless darkness of space.